Hello world, Tim from Priority Thinking here. In this video we're going to look at registering an account in the admin console and then redeeming a code so that we can create a Goodwill Leader 360 survey. And we're going to set it all up and bring it all the way to the end and view our report once the survey has finished. So I'm on the adminconsole.com here, and I've also got my email opened up in a tab next to it, and I'm going to need that to be able to verify my account and also do a couple other things once we get into the survey process. So from this page I'm going to click on register, which is right below the login button there, and I'm going to register my account. And you can always change this information later if you need to update anything. Let's see, phone number, company Priority Thinking LLC, job title, and let's say New York, and I've got to accept the terms and conditions. Of course, I have read those, and I'll hit register. So right now my account is being created. It should redirect me back to the login page. Oh, first we got to say check your email for confirmation email. So let me wait on that here. Here it is, went to the promotions folder here. Please confirm this account by clicking. There we go. Alright, so now I'm on setting a password. So I'll go ahead and put in my email again. And I will choose a strong password, which has uppercase, lowercase, number, and special character in it. No thanks. And saying that my account has been created, an administrator will approve my account. I will be notified by email when I'm able to log in. So if I were to try to log in now, I believe it would tell me a similar notification here. Yep, must be approved. So this should happen relatively quickly. It just means there's an administrator at Priority Thinking that's going to approve every account that's created in our system. And this is they'll also may reach out to you from support@prioritythinking.com. This will go to your email also. And that's our technical support email. So if you have any questions or anything while you're going through this process, feel free to send an email to support@prioritythinking.com and they can help you answer your questions. So I'll check back in a little bit once my account has been approved. All right, and we're back. Just got the email that said my account has been approved. So if I open this up, I should be able to click on here to go to the login page, and let me just get rid of a couple of these other tabs and reorganize real quick. So now when I log in, there's email and password. I should actually have access to the system now. So here it is. On the home page, if I had any surveys, it would show up in a table here, but I do not actually have any surveys right now. But what I do have, and what was given to me, is a code. So I can redeem this code over in the shop, and I'll go to redeem code here, and I will put in my code, redeem it, and now I have an item in my inventory. So this is a Goodwill Leader 360 survey of the type core. I can get digital reports and a dynamic dashboard, and I have until the end of the month to use it. So when I create here, or click that create button, then I can create the survey. So I'll just give it a title. So this will be Tim's, we'll just say Tim Kendrick GWL 360. And let's say I do want to require census. So this is tracking respondents. And I could click on this if I want a little more information about what that means. But really what it means is I'm going to have to fill out a census. I'm going to have to provide all the emails and names of the people I want to invite to my survey ahead of time. So I'm going to create the survey. Don't need to worry about the group right now. If you were working with a team and you wanted to look at all of your surveys together, or at least like on one page just for organization's sake, and then even once they've all completed it, then you can look at reports that'll summarize all of the surveys within that group. But for right now, this is just one survey, so don't need to put a group. And I'll hit create survey. And this is what we call the survey workflow. So we have these steps up here that we need to complete in sequence. If I try to move ahead, it'll tell me I can't go there. So I'm just going to look at each step as it's presented to me And I'm going to provide the professional details, and also if I needed some more instruction on what I'm meant to be doing on this step, I can click Show Instructions and collapse again. So on some steps, it's a little bit more in depth what you're expected to do, so the instructions will be helpful there. So for to fill out this step, I'm just going to put in priority thinking. And this will be for me, so I'll be the subject of this survey. So I'm going to put in my name as if I am looking for other people to respond to a Goodwill Leader 360 survey about me. And the email address will be the same one that I used to create the account. So if you're setting this up for someone else, you'd put their email address, and that'll give them the proper notifications at the proper times when their survey is launched. So I'll submit. And we've moved on to the Messages tab. So again, I can collapse and show the instructions. And if I actually went to the Preview tab over here, so now I could see the full transcript of my survey. And it's got my name in it based on that information that I just input on the subject step. So I could read through there, but for right now I just want to continue with the build here. So on the messages, so one thing we actually recommend is you record a video kind of introducing the survey to the people who are taking the survey. And if I wanted to download a script, we have a recommended script for the video. I could come over here and download a PDF, and might as well open it up and see what it has in here. So there's a script, kind of just a quick overview of how you might record something and put it on YouTube, and then copy the introduction, or copy the embed link from YouTube into here, and that'll take the place of your introduction video. Or I could put an introduction note, which is just text here, and there's some recommended text for you. Feel free to edit however you like. Put your signature at the bottom. Let's just do that here. So thank you, and then I'll sign it. And I'm okay with how those look, so I'll just hit submit. And I'll go back to the preview step, because every time you complete a step, it'll update the transcript of the survey here with the information you provided in the survey workflow. So there's my introduction note, and same with the video, it would show up top here. So I'll click build in that sidebar, and it'll bring us to the demographics. And here is where we're going to set up the demographic questions for our survey. So these will appear right after the messages in the introduction note, and all the participants of the survey will be required to fill these out. And I can cater these however I like to fit my specific industry, job role, and company. So it may help to reach out to an HR person for help, or to even the priority thinking support. There are a couple recommendations that we make for how you might want to set up the demographic questions on this instructions tab here. But the key things are you can have up to 10 of them, and the ones that are on the screen here are just our recommended questions, or at least just a jumping off point to get you thinking about how you want to design your demographic questions. So for example, if I was reading through here and say maybe I don't want to ask the age question, gender question, and also not the age question, and maybe I wanted to add another one, and let's say, I don't know, department. So I could say, what is your department? And we'll just add a couple options here. I'll make one sales, I'll make one finance, and then let's see, IT. All right, and I'll submit at the bottom here. So this will save all of the questions that I've created, and it'll move me on to the census tab. So I can always go back and change the demographic questions if I like. We can see that those saved here, and edit these options. I could even move the options and reorder them. I could move entire questions to reorder them, etc. So back on the census tab here, this is where we want to, and I'll look at the instructions, this is where we want to upload all of the respondents we'd like to invite to take our survey. So there's a couple ways we can do this. The first way is we can download an Excel template. This will take a second to download. It's kind of working in the back end to create the Excel document, and I'll open it up here. and we'll see that this is just a table that I could send to maybe an HR person at my company, or I could what happened here? Let's try that again. There we go. I could send this to an HR person at my company. I could fill it out myself. But what it's requiring is that I put in the first name, last name, and email address of all the people we'd like to invite to this survey. And then under each of these columns, so those are our demographic questions. So I can hover over and see the actual full question text. It's just going to show me that reporting name in the column header. And if I click in a cell and use this drop down, we can see that I can select how I expect each of these people to respond to my survey. So if I wanted to put in, maybe 20 people in here and then organize them according to how I think that they're going to respond, then at the end of the survey in my report, I'll see what is called a distortion report that'll show how people actually responded to the demographic questions versus how I expected them to respond to the demographic questions. And that'll illuminate potential response masking. It'll tell us more accurate response rates based on the breakdown of the demographic questions. There's a lot of benefits of doing this. It does take some time. And we can see at the end here, so that's the department question that we added. So it's building this based on the demographic questions that we set up in the demographic step. So that's one way we can upload our respondents. Fill this out and then upload it back through the admin console using this little dialog box here. The other way is I could add them one by one online here. So I can, so I'll just add like just a sample one here. And because I am the subject, I don't need to add myself to the survey. That'll kind of get handled separately. So I'll just add another email here and I'll hit save. And we can see that now I've got this table, which is my census, the individuals on my census. So of course I could add however many I like. And if I wanted to go in and edit one, I just click on the row in the table and I can set the same expected responses as I could in the Excel document. This will just be all online. And I'll click back here. So once I have all the census, the respondents I'd like to include on my census, then I can proceed to the next step by clicking next here, and that'll take me to the build step. And on this step, I'm really just saying that I understand that I'm not going to be able to go back and change anything that I've already done on the subject step or the messages step or demographics or census. So I'm just saying I understand I can't go back. I understand I can't go back and change my census. And then I understand that I'm certifying right now that I have permission of all the people on the census, or that I'm giving permission to the app, the admin console app, to contact these people with automated messages solely regarding this survey. So it'll be an announcement note saying, hey, here's a link to your survey. Please respond to this by this date. And then it'll also be some reminders, and we'll see that on the next step. So I'm going to submit here. And we're going to be moving on to the launch step. And again, instructions here are handy. A lot of recommendations on how we think you might want to set up your survey. And then we've even got this announcement template. So a couple days before my survey launches, I might want to send a personal email from my personal account to all of the people I've invited to respond to the survey. Rather than just letting the automated system handle it. It just makes it more personal, gives them a heads up to look for a specific email. So let me refresh here, and so now we're on this launch step, and I can say things like I want to launch it now, or I want to pick a date on which the survey live, so on which the survey is made live. So I'll just say I want to make it live immediately. And just like when I created my account or registered my account, there was an admin that needed to approve my account. So same thing's going on here, where an admin is going to have to approve every survey that comes through our system. So I'm saying that once the admin has approved it, and this will take less than an hour during business hours, so it'll go live pretty quickly. An announcement email will be sent out to all the participants, and then the survey will be live and ready to accept responses. I can also choose to set it for some day in the future. So we recommend launching on a Monday, leaving it open for 2 weeks, and then closing on a Friday. But for right now, for the sake of this demo, I'm just going to launch it now. And the close date is going to default to 2 weeks from now, but of course I could come in and change that if I want it to be open longer or shorter. And then the last piece of the puzzle is the automated reminders. So I'm just going to turn all these on because I want to make sure that people are reminded that they need to take this assessment. And because I'm tracking the responses via the census, and I've provided all the emails, etc., it's only going to remind people who haven't completed the survey yet. So it's not going to bother people who got the link day one and finished their survey. It's only going to go to the people who need reminding, so to speak. And I'll hit submit now. So this is going to actually, begin the launch process of the survey. And I do have to wait for admin approval right now. So we're going to check back in just a couple minutes, and we'll see a different screen on this launch step here. All right, so I just got the email that my survey has been approved. So I could click on this button here to be taken to that spot in the admin console in the survey workflow. But I just refreshed the page on the live step. So what I'm seeing here is that the survey's been launched and it's ready to accept responses. And these two expected responses are the subject of the survey and the one person that I added on the census step. So I can refresh this anytime I want to, just to see my response rate. Of course, it's more helpful when there's more people that you're expecting to respond to it. And I can also just view how many days we've got left before closing. And I'm keeping in mind that I did configure those reminder emails to be sent out along the way, so people will be notified that they have a survey to complete. And actually, if I check my email again here, I should, yep, so I've been invited to complete a survey. And this is what your the participants of the survey are going to see. So they're going to be asked, can you please take the survey by this date and time? And if I were to click this, it should take me right to the survey. So this is what they're seeing on the other side. There's my note, and of course I can go right through here and it's going to log the responses. So as people complete the survey, I'll be able to see that they have done so through this screen, but for the most part I'm just waiting until the close date. And if I wanted to change the close date of the survey, then I might be able to move it a week up if my response rates aren't where I want them. We recommend that you get to at least a 70% response rate before considering to close your survey. But let's say I had 100% of the respondents complete within the first couple days, then I could actually come in and close the survey early, and that would allow me to move on to the report step. So let's look at a demo survey that has been advanced all the way to the report step, and it's got 31 people that have responded to it, and we'll be able to see what it's like on that report step for a completed survey. So here we are on our sample survey. This is for John Doe, and the reports have been approved by the administrators, and they've been released through the admin console here. So again, you'll be notified that this is happening. So your survey will close usually on a Friday, and by Monday you'll have both your PDF report and your dashboard. So usually the turnaround time is very quick on these things. So what I can do from here is I can download my PDF report, or I can get a printed and bound copy if I click that mail button. Here's the PDF report, and of course I can go through here and review my responses. And then a little bit more functionality is the dynamic dashboard. So I'll open the dashboard here, and this is what we call the dynamic dashboard. So this has got all of the same content that was in that PDF report, with the added benefit of being able to slice by certain demographic categories. So let's look at maybe superiors. So I'm just going to click superiors there, and you're going to see that the score has changed to show only the results of the people who selected superior as their participant group. And there we go. So you can select one at a time and be able to look or get a little more insight into the data through clicking on Superior there. So you're free to explore this dynamic dashboard as much as you want. The PDF report will, or the dynamic dashboard will never be distributed to anybody else. This is all contained within your account. So if you choose to send it to anybody else, you certainly may. You can download the report and send it to your coach, your superiors, etc. And then this is only aggregated data that you're seeing. It's not going to uniquely identify any person that has responded to your survey unless they chose to identify themselves in the optional free response questions that are all the way down at the end of this survey. So that's all it is. It should be pretty easy to set up and run this Goodwill Leader 360 assessment, just using the things that we've talked about in this video. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to support@prioritythinking.com. Also, 585-388-2040. Extension 1 is technical support. So you can feel free to ask any questions along the way to get some help. We can even help with the demographic questions, filling out the census, every step in the process. So we hope to see one of your surveys come through our system soon. And that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching.